A. And how about we
Hello.
just let that A be a mystery to everybody?
I love that. I love that. Yes. Yes.
Welcome tonight, ladies. How are you guys doing tonight? How are you feeling? Let's loosen up. How are we doing tonight?
Well, it's just I feel really good tonight. I've been a little, just been a little strange lately. I haven't been sleeping much lately. I don't know what that's about, but I'll get into that
Yeah.
a little bit later, why the possibility could be.
Mhm.
But other than that, I am feeling great. Well rested. Today I kind of rested a bit, but
Mhm.
I'm feeling great. I'm happy to be here with all of you, and I just can't wait to be a part of you all be a part of our show.
Absolutely, absolutely. Kim, how are you tonight, Miss Serious K?
Y'all know what? I'm feeling real good tonight. I'm excited about the show tonight. I'm excited about our listeners, our viewers, chiming in because we have a great show in
We
store for
do.
you guys tonight. So please stick around. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm ready.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Kim is absolutely right. We have a great show for you guys tonight. We're just going to get right into it. Let me just say we're going to talk about exactly what you see on the screen: politics, vaccine, and dating during this COVID-19. I'm
Mhm.
sure so many people have some real stories, freaky stories, wild
Yes.
stories, sad
Yes.
stories, you name it. I'm sure someone out there has it. So we're going to start off with our first topic tonight. Let's go into some of the most exciting thing that's out there that they're talking about, and that's the main topic of the U.S. and that's the inauguration next week. That's the impeachment that has taken place for the second time for the same person. Yeah, we shouldn't be excited about that, but I'm kind of excited if I be honest. I mean, we are talking, we are being transparent, so
Yes.
I'm excited. It's the second time, so I don't know. One thing I can say regarding the impeachment is that, or the second impeachment is that it's necessary. So um, let's go right into it. Can you tell me what you think?
All right. So this impeachment thing, I mean, well, let me tell you, Trump has pulled all the cards.
Yes,
And let me just say this.
let me
It
drink
was
on
very interesting because Trump being a 45th president, I'll get a little bit more into that a little later.
that. Okay.
It was a very interesting thing because 45 and 9, that deals with someone coming to an end of cycle. So something in the presidency, something in the US was coming to an end. What that is, we're still learning. But it was a lot of
Cam,
chaotic energy. And Trump has been, I mean, we have seen all type of things happen in the US, in the laws, and it just now 9 represents things that you have to change as well. It's coming to an end so you can change some things. And we saw a lot of flaws in the US system that needed to be changed. So I'll get
Yeah.
to that.
absolutely, absolutely. We definitely, and one thing I believe that they're going to change some things within the Constitution. I can only imagine what that would seem like, what that would be like. But there were laws that were created and legalized that allows, for instance, I mean, what do you ladies think about? And I have my views on this as far as all of the authorizations of the electoral votes, how they have to, make sure that the electoral college votes are being authorized through the electoral college. And then they make sure they have to go through the Congress, and the Congress has to solidify them. So you tell me, to me, and first of all, we have to vote. So it's not the most popular vote that gets the person, the candidate, the presidency, but or president elect. It's the most electoral votes is
Right.
the gets the candidate the victory. So my thing is the different steps that it has to go through. Is it really necessary? And then I want to understand. Now I did do some digging because I want to understand, is it necessary and why is it necessary? Because okay, for instance, like when Trump, the president, for the next day or two.
Right.
But
But
when
wasn't he impeached?
Well,
Yeah.
it has to be, go through court now. The House of Representatives voted on it, but now, it has to go through the Senate and
Mhm.
of course through court. But, when he tried to say that it was fraud, or when he tried to tell Georgia officials, was it the Senate, I believe, that he tried to tell them to recount or to snatch 11,000 votes from somewhere.
Mhm.
Really? And then to how they wanted Trump to get the election overthrown. So the lines that were out there at the beginning, the beginning of the election, and then the early voting, how they have the early vote, and how those lines were super long, and a majority of the crowd voted during that time, a majority of the people, and then during the election day, and you want to get that overthrown. I mean, I just want to know from that question right there, how do you ladies feel about, you stood out there in that line? It was a line for me. I don't know about you, Kaneen or Kim, but definitely a line for me.
Mhm.
And I early vote, and I was in line. I lost my license that day.
Yeah.
That's how bad it was. I lost my license, had to get a replacement. But to overthrow the votes, and we're talking all of these votes, because as far as the popular votes, that was what, 70,000 for Biden and 77,000 for Trump. And I say his name like
Yeah.
that on purpose, but but to overthrow all of that, how do you feel just as an individual? Just how do you feel? Just as a citizen, how do you feel? You stood in that line, you're doing what your civil duty, and then it just get overthrown. Tell me, how do you feel about that?
I think it's a bunch of foolery. And that's
Absolutely.
why a lot of people don't vote. I've heard people say that. I
That's
mean,
the
so
sad
they
part,
always
but
say,
it's
we
true.
do all that, we stand in line and we vote, and then they still gonna make the choice anyway. So why do it? You
Yeah.
know, I never understood the electoral college process, and
Mhm.
it doesn't make sense. But I just believe that it's my civic duty to go out there and vote. And again, our ancestors stood in line and were
Yes.
beat. So I
Yes.
that
Yes.
I mean, I didn't mind going voting or whatever, but it's just foolery. And I do want to say I'm glad that he's been impeached for a second time.
Yes.
I can't wait till he get out of there. Because for him, it's all about winning. It's all about Trump. It's not about Democrats. It's not about Republicans. It's all about him. Who's on his side?
Yes.
So he's a narcissist.
Yes.
He has
Yes.
narcissistic behavior disorder.
True. Very
And
true.
Yes.
so it's all about him, and he's a dangerous person.
Mhm.
I mean, we saw what happened at the Capitol. Some people are even describing his leadership as he's a cult, like he's leading a cult,
Yeah.
and it is somewhat like that. So again, that electoral college stuff is just foolery, and I can definitely, and I'm not judging, so I can understand why somebody would be like, okay, I'm just not gonna vote because my vote is not gonna count. I can understand that. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
Canadian whip off.
now I'm going to get a lot of ass kicks for this.
Let's go for it.
So I'm the type of person that I always look underneath things. I have a different perspective when it comes to things, right?
Mhm.
I don't take anything for face value, but let me say this. Now, I don't like Trump, right?
Right.
But
Rightfully so.
but when you look at, like, if you like, I think I mentioned, well, I think in the last show I had mentioned that we have to really watch and listen.
Mhm.
Now, all that Trump was saying is not necessarily untrue. Is that even the word?
Right.
Untrue? But anyway,
Mhm. Mhm.
so I believe, this is my opinion. Don't just don't fault me for this. This is my opinion. I believe that some of the things Trump was saying, I don't know what, but some of the things he was saying, I believe he noticed some things
Mhm.
and he brought light to the situation.
Mhm.
However, the way he went about it was kind of wrong. With not kind of wrong. It was wrong, and it was just messed up. I want to say something else, but it was messed up.
Yeah.
So, but when we look at some of the things that Trump was doing and what he was saying, it was almost like he was retaliating. Yes, he was retaliating because he lost, and people would think like he's a sore loser. Now, I didn't vote for Trump, but I'm just saying people would think that he's a sore loser. He didn't know. But could it be possible? I'm just giving just food for thought. Could it be possibly that Trump saw some things that was taking place and possibly knew some things, which is why he retaliated the way he did? Just food for thought.
Do I need
But then I think that's partially true, but then when they don't agree with him, he retaliates. If, like he always asks, are you on my side or you on my team? So when you're not on my team, I retaliate.
Exactly.
So Shalonda, I know you were about to say.
Well, the one thing that I can say is that the one thing that I know for a fact that he shed light on was racism. How prevalent, how so real, and how it still exists. And you would think that with all of the interracial couples, with just us working on a daily basis, just working with individuals, black, white, and sometimes I know I have been in many positions where I was the only spot in the room. And it's okay. I mean, you get used to it over time, especially when you're in certain positions where you're the only spot. So you would think that racism now, we're talking, this is 2021 now. 2021, and it still exists. Now, I'm not going to say, and I definitely believe that it has I do believe, I'll put this on the record, racism has an expiration date, or Dr. Martin Luther King would have never had that dream.
Yes.
So it has one, and woe unto that day. But it definitely has one, and, we don't know how things are going to flop, switch. But, I would say, it could it should be, and it would just be equality for all, but it definitely has an expiration date. And that's the one thing that Trump, I have to say his name like that, but that's the one thing that he shed light on, was just how just so real racism is and how it needs to be dealt with. Now, did he push that? Absolutely not. He didn't push anything. He moved the covers. Go ahead, Kaneen.
So this is I love this, right? Because he shed the whole light on racism, but not just in terms of black and white or just against different races, but even within the U.S. systems. Like, we had Democrats and Republicans fighting against one another, and it was like a whole race in that. It was a race also with middle class, with different classes of the way people make money in different classes. So he came and he brought light to certain things. Now, the way he went about it was kind of messed up. But he brought light to so many things that was flawed in the American system.
Yes.
And, so definitely the racism, definitely, but also we got to see what type of power that this man had. And how the U.S. is supposed to protect us, per se, like the U.S. government is supposed to protect us, but were we really protected?
Right.
Because he was able to get away with so many things, and what he came and done was brought light to situations. And that's, again, so that's what the number 9 does. He's a 45th president, but anyone who knows numerology, here we are going into numerology. So anyone who knows this knows about the number 9. The 9 come to tear stuff up, and that's what he's done. But when it's like it tears up and tears down the foundation, just so it can expose what's been underneath.
Okay.
And go ahead, Kim.
No, I was going to say that word, expose. I was saying last year, I kept saying 2020 is a year of revelation and exposure. It exposed some things, some people, it revealed some things.
Yes.
I mean, like you said, it exposed a lot.
Yes, it did. It exposed.
And it's just brewing on over into 21.
Yes.
I keep asking, have we crossed over?
We just in a whole new, we crossed over, but we just in a whole nother situation.
Speaking of numerology, Kaneen, let's dig into that a little bit. So this 2021, so that would be a number 5 year.
Yes.
So why don't you shed a little light on this year?
All right. So let me say this. It's very interesting, and I'm gonna share this on live because I had not shared this with too many people. But I remember telling Shalonda, I shared with Shalonda and about a dream that I had. And in this dream, it was, I think it was like in December, right, Shalonda? November, December, about the dream.
Yeah, around 1st of December.
So I dreamt that everyone was going to sit in front of their TVs like, oh my God, what just happened? Now, I don't know if this is what has occurred or what has happened, but I had another dream recently, and I want to share this live. So the dream that I had recently was a lot of bloodshed in the streets. And it was a lot of families that was trying to, like, they had to stay inside because there was a lot of bloodshed. And it was mothers and fathers just rushing and taking their children. Now, I want to say this. I dreamt of dwarfs, though, the little people.
Okay.
I don't mean to say it like that, but
Yeah.
I dreamt, but it was like the dwarfs or the little people were being killed. So I don't know if it represented the youth or the children, but it was like they were killing these little people. And I was rushing, trying to get the children in the house. Like we had, like, it's, and it was the military and it was everyone outside. And I'm rushing to get the children inside. And I'm like, we have to get inside. But the children was significant as well as the little people. So I don't know what that meant. I mean, I woke up and I was like, God, what is that? I don't know. So I have these dreams all the time and I have to write them down. But I want to share that publicly because we never know what's to come. But I want to say this. The number 5 represents universal change. It represents expansion, but also it could be a lot of emotional turmoil if you don't know how to pivot with the change. Because the U.S. is going to go into a major, major change. And with that, if you don't know how to kind of, that's when mental health with Kim, and Shalonda, you all are great with the mental health. That's when we're going to need more coaches and mental health more than ever. Because we thought that, last year was something. I mean, this year, it is going to be something. And, we're not done. So it's still some more things to come. And we have to know how to pivot and how to change with the change. Also technology, technology is going to be at an all-time high. Get your computers updated, your phones updated. Wait a minute.
Absolutely.
I'm on it.
Absolutely. Well, you're definitely right about that, of all the changes. And just to end that conversation, I just wanted to highlight that I was listening to one of Beyonce's live, and she was talking about how 2021 is. You think that 2020 was rough because it was, and so many, but I do have my views on that. As far as 2020, yes, it was rough for a lot of people, but a lot of people did excel. I mean, and those that excelled did make it known that they excel. Now, I would personally say that those that had a wonderful 2020, as far as maybe in the success area, because there were some people that were, successful when it came to their career, or when it came to their finances. And I know you said, what, the US shut down, the world shut down, how? Well, it happened for some, and that's a known fact, that it happened for some. But my own personal feelings for that, there were so many more that suffered in 2020, and not that you cannot rejoice, praise the Lord, or, just, really show your appreciation or thankfulness, as far as, in the midst of everything that was going on, when it seemed like there was no hope, there was hope for you per se. Yes. Remember those that wish they had just a little piece of success that you were having, because you never know. And I always say this, I say this to all my friends, to everybody, that life is you see Earth. What is Earth? It's a globe. The globe, and it goes around. Life is a cycle.
Yes.
It goes around. So karma is real. Do unto others as you have them do unto you. All of that is real. And so your opportunity will come. Your
Yes.
inside of a globe.
Yes.
Sorry about that. But your opportunity will come where you will need someone someday, or you will, face an issue with a family member or a friend or something, or yourself, where you need that grace and mercy. So it's okay to rejoice in, the greatness that you stumble upon in 2020. But when it's so many more that's suffering, that's really going through, that needs that helping hand, remember that individual, because when it's your time, you want to be remembered. So moving on. We wanted to talk about tonight the vaccine. So
Can I say one thing? I got a revelation when you were saying that.
Okay, go ahead.
Although the country shut down, God's blessings kept flowing.
Yeah.
Yes.
We just had to reach out and grab it. They never stopped.
They didn't.
Never stopped flowing.
You know, Kim, I'm so glad you said that. Yes, Lord. So let me say this. We are all spiritual. All of us ladies that's on here tonight, we are all spiritual.
Yeah.
With some mix of religion. But I want to say this. So when you mentioned that, Kim, like you said, God has been blessing. So, because I study astrology, I study numerology. And last year we were in the year of the rat, according to Chinese astrology. So the year of the rat, when you look at the animal symbol, the rat is someone who goes and sneak food, but it's like no matter what, they never starve. So you have seen how God's hand was in it, where you had just enough, and the rat always had just enough. And the rat was someone who can carry around somewhat of diseases, right? They always in like those nasty spots, and that's what last year was like nasty, a bunch of diseases, but yet the rat also symbolized someone that knows how to get what they want, and it's like they always be in supply no matter what. So that's what we saw last year, like God supplied no matter what. And in the process, like we sometimes so consumed with the negative that's happening that we forget to praise God in the process of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, even when the blessings are little, because sometimes I'll be pissed, like I'll be ready to go like just ready to fight. Because I'll be pissed, like, Lord, what is this? So I'll be throwing stuff, like I wish we had that meme with the panda just fighting.
Oh, girl.
And it's like, because I had those times where I felt just overwhelmed and like, okay, Lord, like what is going on? Like where are the blessings, especially because I started a business, and we all have started, we all have businesses, we all have started a business, but I have seen God show up in tremendous ways that was miraculous. And I don't want to keep talking about, because I love astrology and numerology. I can talk for days about this. But I want to say this: in the year that we're in now, the year of the metal ox.
Yeah.
The metal ox, when you think about the ox is of it can symbolize an animal of poverty, but also to symbolize an animal of fertility and wealth. But you have to know, you have to work hard for the wealth. But also in the metal year, is good for investments. So investments when it comes to farming, because the ox is the farming animal. So this year, especially good for investments, good for especially investing in like, metal type things like jewelry and, again, farming and mining. So I'm not going to get too much into that because I'm giving away all the secrets, but is the year of the ox is very, very important. And it's going to seem like a lot of hard work, especially because it's like, you're going to, some people are going to create a business, and next thing you know, you have to switch some, like whatever, you start a new job, you may have to switch to something totally different from what you're used to. So this year is going to be about switching and changing a lot of things. But in the year of the ox, if you work hard and be responsible, you can be so wealthy. But watch for the pregnancies, okay?
Well, anyway. That is so true. And that's one thing that Iyanla shed light on, and that is to make sure, when you mention a lot of work, there's going to be a lot of work. When you're doing a lot of work, you need to keep your physical self up. You need to keep your mental self up. You need to keep your emotional self up. And Lord, to top it all, you need to keep your spiritual being up.
Yes.
So in the midst of all of that, we need to stay whole. We need to stay complete. We need to stay aware. We need to stay, full alert of what is going on. So definitely, I believe that it's going to be a busy year. 2021. I'm still asking, have we crossed over? But let's speaking of, how 2020 was with COVID and everything, how it affected so many people. I was noticing the numbers. The numbers are crazy. And Kim and I live in Texas, and Kaneen, you're in Georgia. And the numbers stump all over Georgia as far as Georgia's numbers. I mean, as far as statistics. But the vaccine that's out. So many people are against the vaccine. And we're talking just in the state of Texas, it's over 2 million cases.
Yes.
And we have people that's talking against taking the Moderna or Pfizer vaccine. So when I was doing a little research about it, I think Moderna was like 90% effective and Pfizer was like 94.5% effective. I'm talking, we're in the 90% effective, not 70, not 60, not 50. And it wasn't a lot. I mean, there were some reported that there were some, what is it when you, some effects, when you take the medicine and how, I don't know, they may get a fever or, break out in rashes or whatever. But the effectiveness of the vaccine, but yet there are people that do not want to take it. So tell me, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about the vaccine?
Well, I'm one of those people. I am not taking the vaccine. I don't even take the flu shot. No, I don't. Because normally, Shalonda can attest to this. Normally, I'm on a health kick. I try to eat right. I try to work out. I fell off during quarantine, but I'm back on track. And my thing is, I just don't know enough about it. They came out with it too quick. So I want to know what it does to your body, like maybe 6 months from now, a year from now, not within 24 hours or 48 hours. Is it going to affect your organs? Because, they talked about women pregnant or women wanting to conceive. I mean, y'all can correct me on this, but I heard some things about that. They were advising women that want to conceive not to have this shot. Why? You know what I mean? And not only that, I honestly, I don't trust a lot of the things that the government dishes out. I don't know if they're going to have these little microchips, insert those microchips in the ones that are as small as a dust mite. So I'm just going to stay on my immune defenders, my elderberry juice, my sea moss, try to work out when I can, and just stay in prayer. That's what I'm gonna do. So, and after that, maybe later, maybe a year or two, but I need right now the after. Now, I did hear y'all that Johnson & Johnson was coming out with one as well.
Oh,
a nurse client of mine told me about that. So, wow, I don't know.
Wow.
So, what do you think, Kaneen, about the vaccine? I'm
not taking it. You know what? I'm not. So I don't even take the flu shot. So my body doesn't respond very well to the flu shot. So I'm one that hardly ever catches a cold or gets sick, so much. So when I take the flu shot, like I really get really, really sick. So I believe like what has happened over the last, year has really shown me about the importance of just taking care of my body. So I'm on the, a natural health kick. Yes. So, just getting healthy, first spiritually, mentally, physically, And when all those components are in place, then you can live healthy. You don't have to do all of those things. Of course, you want to be wise, and for some people they may need it. I would say so I wouldn't discount it, but for me, I definitely would not do it, and I don't trust it. For in my opinion, I don't trust it. But for some people, we will see. I want to see what happens, and So yeah, but for me, I don't really trust this, per se.
My perspective of it is that, first of all, I would like to know with both of them not being as far as the same amount of effectiveness, Pfizer seems to be more effective than Moderna. So what will determine which one, if you were to take it, how who would determine that, which one you're going to take? So that's something to really consider. I'm like you ladies.
Now, let me say this.
I take the flu shot. So no. Now, if they make it mandatory to where we cannot do certain things or go certain places, then that's something that we would have to consider and think about and, determine at that time. But right now, no. Were you going to say something?
It's very interesting because I honestly believe it's according to social status. I believe that certain vaccines will be given to certain, social statuses, which is again why it's so important to get your investments in order, your money in order.
Yes,
because we don't want to be in that, we getting low dosages, so especially in our color and everything, we want to make sure that we are on the up and up when it comes to our social status, because that's where that's what they're looking at. And then also when you see this, the stats, and you really learn about statistics and everything, you really do see a certain social class, they don't have as much benefits as they do in other classes. And especially, as Black people, of course, just any race or any culture, you do want to make sure you up and up with that, because that's going to be very, very important. And I believe that's what they're looking at now. And when because when you think about the whole COVID case and everything that happened, they had, you look at how the COVID had affected certain social classes or cultures, right? First, it was like Caucasians, then European, Asian countries. Then there was Caucasian. Then so it was like how interesting how it was affecting different social classes and different nationalities and cultures at the same time at different times. So that's something they really look at.
That's true. And I think about, the vaccine, I think about the elderly, I think about those that have health issues, praise the Lord, we're healthy. But those that have, that their immune system is not, up to par as far as they have to take medication. They cannot be exposed to, much of anything before COVID, during COVID. So the vaccine, that is definitely something to consider, because you're right. Social status plays a huge part in it. So it goes back to my question, how are you going to determine who's going to take? Do we just pick? Like if we were to say, I'm going to take the vaccine, I want to take Moderna, or I want to take Pfizer. It's clearly been seen and said that 90%, 94.5. So that is something to truly consider, like, okay, come on, so how is that determined? So, and it's being created so quickly, and it's been, kind of like thrown out there, and no tests, usually when they're coming up with some type of vaccine or medication, it's being tested. They have all kinds of surveys, and who wants to test? We're giving, just all different types of measures and methods, and this, and I understand we are in a pandemic and we are in a major life crisis to where this pandemic has swept the land, I'm talking globally, not just in the United States, so although we have passed all the numbers, all the numbers in cases, deaths, everything. So that's something really to consider. I don't know if you ladies have, but I have not seen where a lot of the children have been affected, or died from COVID. What about your research?
Well, you know what? I have not, but I would say this. What I've noticed during COVID
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of exes contacting me back.
Oh,
Exes. So let's get right into that. Jaden, during the pandemic, have you been dating any of them? Ew.
Because when you think about it, like because exes like to come back because you are safe during the COVID, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. Kim,
So
what do you
they
think about that? You tell us about that, Kim, dating during the pandemic.
well, of course, I've been away from the dating scene for years. Thank
Right,
you,
right.
Lord. So I'm out of that. But I was curious to know. So I did a little research.
Mhm.
With Valentine's Day coming up, everybody trying to get a boo. And last year, it was, and this year too, it's been hard for singles, pretty hard for singles to get a date and be safe at the same time. So
Right.
my question to singles, I did a little research, contacted a few singles that I knew. My question was, what were their challenges? What challenges did they face during the pandemic while trying to date? And what creative measures were they taking to date COVID safe?
Mm.
Um, and I did a little research and I found an article online, and it's from an online media service called Vox, VOX.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lady on there. She was a 33-year-old product manager,
Mm.
and her concern was her time clock, her biological time clock was ticking.
Oh Lord.
So she was hopeful. She was thinking that she would find a date and settle down and probably, have a few kids. But COVID-19 kicked in, and that didn't happen for her.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, she's 33 years old. So, women at that time, we feel like, hey, we gotta, get on the bandwagon. And then
Right.
there was a 22-year-old college student. He was having those type of issues. And his thing was, being on campus, everybody trying to play it safe. He's in his dorm room, people trying to stay social distance to, all the health risk and stuff. So he didn't get to do a lot of dating, and most of his friends, like he said, was working from home, the friends that had graduated, and they're even meeting fewer people.
Mm.
Um, and then there was 39, statistics show that 39% of heterosexual couples and about 65% of gay couples met online in 2017, according to the 2019 Stanford University survey. And that is still going on now in 2021, except it's more prevalent. So
Right.
I reached out to a few people, and I'm just going to say sweetheart number one. I asked her what measures she was taking. Valentine's Day, so I'm trying to be a little creative.
Right. Period. Period.
Sweetheart number one. Okay, I asked about, her challenges and what was she doing to be creative. And so I'm reading from my iPad, y'all. I'm sorry I dropped my glasses. It's live. I got to pick them up.
You see, I haven't removed them.
So I'm gonna be a little quick. I'm just gonna read just a couple of the
Okay.
responses. Okay, sweetheart number one says, I was always a homebody and never really dated, but now that I am made to stay home because of the pandemic, it has been hard. When it comes to dating, I have only been on one, and only one person has come to my house. We got into it because I told him he couldn't stop by because he'd be doing too much. And COVID is this was close to the beginning. And this lady, she's very candid. Okay.
Mhm.
She says, sexually, I was using my toys even before COVID. This is her emoji. Okay.
yes.
Now I don't use them as much because it really makes me lonely. I go to bed early to try not to think about being alone. I take some time, so I take some type of sleep aid to help sleep. I have used this time to think about why I am single and trying to better myself, because when the world opened back up again, I'm going to be more visible to date. Okay, sweetheart number two, and this is the last one. Sweetheart number two says the ability to actually be able to meet in person, being safe eliminates the ability to go out to dinner or to a store where you can meet other singles. With the pandemic, I resorted to online dating sites. It allows you to have general conversations, but makes you be less genuine. As you are clicking yes or no, you are really looking constantly at the surface. Is he cute enough, tall enough, or is there grammar issues in his bio? You run the chance of missing the one because they have a flaw. That was just bad Zooming or quick texting. I met someone recently because we had 3 days of good phone conversation, but the pictures he posted were old. We met for dinner masked up, but the interest in the picture was definitely more than in person. It's a day-to-day struggle, but eliminates the complete boredom of no additional person around. Okay, so those two ladies right there, we got, what's our Generation X? Generation X. And then I did talk to someone else, off basis. She was like in her 20s, and she said, well, we just do social media. We just do, the dating sites or whatever. She said, we've always done that. And you just kind of meet like that, get in each other's DM, So, it's been a struggle, and these ladies have been very candid, and I just can't wait till it open back up because, I know dating was hard even before the pandemic because I know how it was when I was out there, and it was a hot mess. So I can only imagine what these poor people are going through.
Yes.
So, wow. To chime in on that.
Wait. Before you speak, I just want to say, now the only person that should be really dating on here is Kaneen. But if I tell you Serious K had her research.
Yes, she has. Yes, she has.
And I told her, I asked her, okay, tell us about girl, I'm not doing that until I can't, I really can't tell you a lot about that. She went into professor mode.
Yes, she has.
Telling us about this.
I had to get y'all the juice. I had to get y'all the tea.
Well, Queen A, I know that you are definitely in the dating world. So give us a quick, we have like about 5 minutes left in the show. So give us a quick overview of what the dating scene is like.
So for me, it's been okay. I kind of have one person in mind, but I don't know really how that's going. But it's a long story with that. But I have met others online. I have without going out on dates. But people are really they really. It's like now's the time that you see that people are really yearning for companionship, but also I'm noticing that people are safer, as well. But I'm going to leave you with this because I know, it's very important to be safe. But I have tried, I have gone on several dating sites such as Match and Zeus, and I had some great opportunities and not so great opportunities. So I'm still, out there and in the dating world, the dating scene. But let me say this: in the meantime, business definitely keep me busy. And ladies. Well, if you're married, single, whatever, it is a toy called the Tracy dog. It's a New York accent dog. I can't help it. So DOG, the Tracy dog. So you definitely want to get that. Let me tell you, it is, I don't know, but if you're married, you may want to just kind of stay away from it a bit because you may want to use that instead. It has kept me safe. It has kept me happy. And, I'm still looking for the right one and, and thanking God that it's coming. But the Tracy dog has definitely kept me safe and very happy.
Well, you can relate to sweetheart number one.
Yes.
Oh my God. Well, Tracy dog.
The New York accent.
For all you singles out there,
or married, either way.
I mean, married if you want to add a little freak to the bedroom. Help yourself to the Tracy dog. Is this for women and men?
Well, no, but he can assist.
Oh.
And let me just say it has 2 components, and they want to have 3 components, right? So you got to figure out where it goes. So they have the suction, that one part goes. Then they have the part that goes in, so they have several components that's all going on at the same time.
Okay.
You got a lot going on there, girl.
But trust me, it keeps you happy.
All right. I think that is enough for today, people. We do
You
not
got an earful today.
get started. If we have any great people, I was looking in the chat to see if we had anyone in there that we would like to select, because we did say we want to give a giveaway tonight, and so not give a getaway, but to give a giveaway. So I see Lori Julian. Lori, if she's out, not sure, but I see her name in the chat. So if she is still watching, please email us at heartmindvoiceshow@gmail.com. We have something very special for you. So that's Lori. Oh my God, that is our high school classmate.
It is.
Oh my God. Well, if she's watching, we have a special gift for you. So please email us at heartmindvoiceshow@gmail.com. Ladies, it has been a delight tonight. And if you guys thought that it was heated tonight, just wait till next week. Kaneen and Kim, Miss Serious K and Queen A will have something for you. So tune in next time. We love you all. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. We'll have plenty of content for you. Be sure to like and subscribe on our YouTube. We'll have giveaways given out on our YouTube. We have special guests that are coming up next month, which is going to be so much fun. And so just, oh my God, I can't wait, because we're going to be messing with a whole new generation. And just pick the generation that will tell you whatever is on their mind anytime, any way, any day. So tune in next Saturday. We love you guys, and we shall see you then, because we will continue to heal the heart, renew the mind, all through the power of transparency. We love you. Good night.
Love you. Good night.